Hey everybody, well, as promised, though a little late, I'm back to talk about basically the same subject, and yes, we do have more information uh, that is to be added. However, I must say that tonight I'm not going to use TMZ's video because they are being, shall we say, unusually, well, actually for them, rather usually restrictive. And rather than invoke fair use legal rights, I thought, you know what? Fine. I'll mention what they found, but I won't present it because all you got to do is not only look at what was said by the Cosmopolitan security guard as recorded Saturday and reported on this station Monday night, or excuse me, yeah, well, Sunday night, excuse me, get my days mixed up. But you probably have seen it, you probably remember anyway, okay? Now, uh, what happened? For those of you just coming in, I'm gonna let you come in a little bit more, say, hopefully that you had a wonderful Memorial Day, as did I. Actually had a very relaxing Memorial Day. I had a very restful Memorial Day. And not only that, I had what is becoming a more typical kind of, it's still hard for me to get used to sort of thing. Hey, welcome everybody. And what happened was this, I actually made a vlog about it, and I should have vlogged it right then and there, leaving out the person I'm about to mention. What happened was I was getting this steely here. You can't really see it, but once you can, if I do this, you can see it. See this? It's, yeah. It's one of those external batteries. This is a big one, all right? Better last a long time. But anyway, I was buying that, and I said to the guy at Walmart, hey, you know, because I asked him a question, if this doodad that I just showed you was, if you haven't seen it, if you didn't see it again, here, this doodad, okay, that doodad, this beautiful thing, okay. If you haven't seen this beautiful thing before, okay, then uh, this is what I was in the process of purchasing. Doesn't look like the black monolith from 2001: A Space Odyssey. And if you've never seen a 2001: A Space Odyssey, you are a culturally deprived individual. Okay, I'm just saying. See it, but I digress. See 2001: A Space Odyssey, and then you'll get it. Or just type 2001 black monolith in any search engine, and you'll understand what I'm getting at. Okay. All right. So I'm in the middle of buying it, and I'm talking to the guy about how he should start a blog. He asked me about my business, so I tell him about my business. He goes, "Oh, vlogging." So we're talking about that. And off to my left, unbeknownst to me, a lady says, "Hey, Zenny," as if she knew me. And I looked over, and my thought was, okay, she looks very presentable and dare I say attractive, but I don't know her. And because in the back of my mind I'm thinking, oh no, this is not an ambush or anything, right? All this is going through my head in seconds because I'm thinking, okay, I don't know her. And I said, well, hey, what's your name? Tell me. So I processed that, and it came out like this. So I apologize, but what's your name? Okay. And she said, well, actually, I said, I appreciate you recognizing me. And she goes, yeah, my husband watches your show. He's a Raiders fan. Oh! And so I said, hell, this is great. I love to vlog my fans. And she says, oh, no. You can talk to him. He's outside, or words to that effect. Now, I wasn't going to like drop everything that I was doing because I hadn't, finished buying stuff just to rush out there. I thought maybe, I didn't know what to think. It all happened like that, right? So I made a video and I said, hey, thank you very much. It doesn't happen a lot, but it happens. And for example, it happens more often as I do this than not. For example, I try to vlog the stories because, some people want to, hey, Geek, how you doing? Some people want to say, oh, you're just saying that. But when they see the video, they realize I'm not. And in this world of YouTube stars and celebrities, I think people understand it's quite common. I'm still I think it's cool. It's still wild to me in a way. You know, it makes me feel safe. It makes me feel safe to be known, as opposed to being unknown. I feel like there's a safety in that. People know who you are, and so they treat you with a certain respect and deference, and they look out for you. Now I know there are stories to the opposite, but I don't want to spend this whole show talking about that, so I'm going to get off that. But my point is, thank you very much to whoever that man was. She didn't say his name, or her, for thank you for watching my channel. I've said it before in a video, and I'll say it again. It was very, very nice. And it never ceases to amaze me how YouTube has changed the culture of celebrity. You know, it just is wild. Okay, now let's get to the main deal where the Geek Freak just posted our first comment of the evening. It says, it's ironic Vegas it's ironic Vegas wants to ban rappers from certain parts of its city, but they're not the ones hanging out at hotel rooms shooting up concert goers. You think? Right. Here's the story as it was told last night. First of all, TMZ, I'm going to read to you the version as it was presented. I'm just going to tell you what happened, all right? Meek Mill went to DJ Mustard's concert at Cosmopolitan in Las Vegas Saturday night. He was denied access. He and two other gentlemen that were with him. And the security guard said, I'm sorry, but I can't allow you in. And they say, why? And he says, it's out of my hands. It's from someone higher than me upstairs, or words to that effect. And he says, and they say, well, what is it? You're telling us we can't come in? We can come in. Why can't we come in? Why can't we come in? And so the security guard says, hey, wait a minute. Can you stop filming, or will you stop filming or turn that off? And the gentleman filming says, I will absolutely not turn it off. And so the security guard goes into this, I call it read robot mode, which he says, okay. And then he starts reading him the official legal reason why he and his Meek Mill and his associates cannot come in, and reading a section of the penal code and saying that they will be arrested if they set foot. They are considered to be trespassing as he speaks, and law, and then all that stuff. Okay, so he again apologizes. Says the security guard says it's not from him, and he says it refers to some other incident, and that's pretty much where the video ends. Okay, for all practical purposes. It was said on the Twitter account of Vital Vegas, which has the best blog in Las Vegas, particularly with respect to tourism and matters like this, that by one of the responders, allegedly Meek Mill was involved in an incident, a previous incident, and another video viewer here echoed that idea. Well, right then and there on the live stream, I went and I searched, and I could not find any evidence of Meek Mill having been involved in any kind of altercation at the Cosmopolitan and Marquee day bar, okay? And nothing. I couldn't find any evidence of that. So, and if I couldn't find any evidence of it, then chances are it didn't happen. I'm not saying, oh, I'm such a great researcher or anything. I simply pointing out a fact that if you have two iconic names, Marquee Bar and one, all right, and then Meek Mill in the same sentence, that's gonna pop up. That's gonna pop up in a search. All right, that is just simply gonna pop up in a search, and if straight up, the Marquee nightclub and Dayclub is a premier nightclub destination. Even its Twitter account has 137,000 Twitter followers. Okay, that's. But my whole point is, you have a situation where someone, someone, someone is going to want to know just what the heck, just what the heck is going on. All right, and they're going in terms of media, and they're going to report it, and it's going to be known. And not only are they going to report it, but a number of other organizations are going to take up the mantle of repeating what they reported. In other words, it's going to be quite possible to find, not impossible. So for anybody to advance the idea that this happened, my question last night and my question to anybody who would ask is, show the evidence. Well, guess what? All right. Guess what? I don't know if the Cosmopolitan was watching this or what happened, but I know that TMZ reached out to the Cosmopolitan again, and the Cosmopolitan, according to TMZ, shot back with this, and this is what they said, and I'm quoting here at TMZ. Meek Mill, Cosmopolitan Hotel fires back. We're not racist. We're just full. Okay, we were just full. We're not racist. We were just full. And what they explain is Meek Mill was sent away from the Cosmopolitan Hotel in Las Vegas, not because he's a black rapper, but because the club he wanted to go into had reached capacity. Problem is, the story doesn't make sense. And it sure as heck doesn't. Because if you watched this last night, or if you watched the video from the TMZ, you know, and I know, that the security guard said nothing about overcrowding. He said nothing about the doors having to be closed because of, say, a fire marshal warning, which would be the logical statement to make. Nothing about that. The security guard made it about Meek Mill, said it wasn't his decision, it was higher ups. In other words, people that are his bosses, or as he might say, above his pay grade, right? So, and this goes on. It says, Cosmo just told TMZ that they have a zero tolerance for discrimination and said this was not an issue of race. Cosmo says Meek was going to the Marquee Dayclub inside the hotel where DJ Mustard was performing. Cosmo says Marquee Dayclub has reached capacity per Las Vegas Fire Marshal Code. Earlier that day, Las Vegas, Metropolitan Police had been called on site to manage a larger than usual venue crowd. Okay? And then Cosmo goes on. This is, I'm reading TMZ right here. Accordingly, when Marquee Dayclub was contacted in advance of Meek Mill's arrival, security staff clarified that he would not be granted access because of capacity issues in accordance with both club and resort policy. Upon his arrival, it was reiterated to Meek Mill and his team for a second time that access to the venue was not permitted. That is a complete lie. Wow, the Cosmopolitan told a complete lie. Complete bald-faced lie. It's like if I were before you and I said, hey, this is an 18-karat gold earring, right? And you would say, no, it's not. It's a bottle of water. And not only that, it's purified drinking water. It says so, and it's Kroger's. But then I would say, no, this is an 18-karat gold earring. It's on that level, folks. It's on that level. And I'm thirsty. Think about that. And it goes on. It says, the hotel says Meek Mill refused to depart property and then was informed that any continued attempt would result in trespassing. As he reported, they threatened to arrest Meek if he got out of the car. Complete lie. And not only that, get this. Think about the gravity of what I just read to you, all right? They, the Cosmopolitan, not only told a bald-faced lie, even, this is even acknowledged by everybody reading this. Even TMZ is just saying, hey, look, this is ridiculous. But in the lie, they did no favors to Meek Mill. The one constant between the truth, what actually happened between Meek Mill and his people and the security guard at Cosmopolitan, and the fabricated version where Cosmopolitan said they told him that he couldn't get in for capacity reasons, okay, is simply that Meek Mill is being made to look like a guy who was not following their rules or policy. Even though he didn't try to get in, even though it's obvious on video they were having a dialogue, there's no evidence of Meek Mill trying to get in physically, or having to have been restrained, or any of his people, or that there was any real necessity to call the police. Nothing like that. In other words, the Cosmopolitan had no problem making Meek Mill look like a bad black rapper in either the first case or the lie. That's the one constant. That's horrifying. Think about that. That's really horrifying. It goes on. It says, now, and this is TMZ writing this, what I'm about to recite to you, okay? Now, here's what doesn't make sense. First, check out the video TMZ posted Saturday, just after Meek left. You clearly hear a Cosmopolitan security guard talking to Meek and his team and referencing a prior incident that happened in the lobby. Meek and his team repeatedly asked what the alleged incident occurred, but got no answer. You know why? As I told you last night, because nothing happened. That too was a lie. Nothing happened. Okay? Nothing. It says there were others who were trying to get in despite the capacity limit, and as far as we know, they weren't greeted by security in the front of the hotel in order to leave before getting out of their cars. Tecopina, that's the attorney for Meek Mill, claims the Cosmo and other hotels have a list grata, all right? Persona non grata. And if that's the case, okay, if that's the case, it is a clear violation to just say, hey, you're denied because you're a black rapper. That's a clear violation of Title II of the Civil Rights Act, as I read to you last night. Let me put it this way in real simple terms. You and I have the right to enter a building for public purposes. A hotel, it's clearly spelled out. A hotel, a lunch counter. Why do I say a lunch counter? Because unless you didn't get proper civil rights history, you remember the story was regarding the lunch counter sit-ins in Birmingham, Alabama that John Lewis, now Congressman John Lewis, participated in. It was sit-ins like that that paved the way for the legal change that allows that kind of freedom of assembly or entry. It's part of the United States Code. That is the set of laws that make up this great country of ours, and I think it's appropriate to recite that on this Memorial Day. So, again, you can't be denied service. In other words, you cannot be just denied the same level of service that anybody else enjoys in a place that is a transient occupancy, or house or hotel. It's right there written in stone. It's far different from a private club that doesn't operate that way, like Olympic Club, or any other really private club that might meet in the woods or something like that. That's entirely different. But when you're operating a place, a restaurant or a hotel, a lounge, a nightclub, you can't do that. You cannot do that. You can't do that in a concert hall. You can't do that for football games. You just basically can't do it. Hey, Frederick Williams, how you doing? I'm discussing part 2 of the news regarding the Cosmopolitan we discussed last night. Basically, the Cosmopolitan is now saying, oh, hey, by the way, we didn't deny Meek Mill access because he's a black rapper. We denied access because we ran out of space, which is a total lie, because that's not what the security guard said that's on video. So we're talking about that right now. So But my point is that the Cosmopolitan, had they went along with the whole banning because he's a black rapper shtick, they would have been on the hook for millions, hundreds of millions, in a class action lawsuit, without question. That's why they took these drastic turns. You would say, why tell a bald-faced lie like that? Well, let's look at the lie. Okay, let's think about it. And you would say, why is this important? And what does this have to do with the Oakland Raiders? My answer to you is this: everything. Everything. Because this incident and everything else sets the tone for how Las Vegas will be received with respect to hosting the NFL draft next year, how Las Vegas will be received as the new home of the Oakland Raiders in the future, and how this is going to affect the Raiders and their own image. So this has a lot riding. Getting this right, getting this thing straightened out rapidly in a way that makes Meek Mill look good, makes the rapper community look good, makes Cosmopolitan and Las Vegas look good, all that. Getting all that out of the way is important. The Cosmopolitan made a drastic mistake because they accused, in both instances, they basically accused Meek Mill of not following their rules and wanting to come in, okay? Freddie Williams says that Las Vegas is biting more than they can chew right now. Yeah, they are. And something else happened in the middle of all of this, and that happened, and it was just resolved early. I don't know if it was resolved, actually, but there was a shooting in Las Vegas. There was a shooting at the club, okay? And it's, as Rosemary Phillips, who is a contractor in Las Vegas, just posted on Twitter, and I want you to see this, okay? She says, the elephant in the room. Will blacks be treated like Meek Mills was at the Cosmopolitan, okay? And that's the main question, you know? Because like I said last night, I haven't been to Vegas just to vacation. I've only went to Las Vegas primarily for CES. And when you are at CES, and you're wearing a CES badge, and then on top of that a press badge, you're accorded a different level of treatment. I'll give you an example of something that happened to me this year, and I had to pull rank on the guy. And I hate to have to do that, but I did. It was a Sony exhibit. And I went to hear the Sony press conference. Actually, you can hear part of the exchange on my video, okay? And what happened was there's a guy that works for Sony. I've seen him before, exchanged pleasantries in the past, but I guess he forgot who he was talking to or something. And I'm sitting down and with my friend Harrison Chestang from KPOO, San Francisco. Actually, Harrison came in a little later. But he basically is talking to me. He's saying, well, we've saved those seats. And I said, they're not marked. And there are people who were sitting to either side of us. I said, they're not marked. And he says, yeah, we were saving those seats. I said, but they're not marked, and I'm press. Okay. I said again, and he repeated. I said, look. I don't know how, I said, look, I'm press, and they're not marked. All right? And he left me alone. And so afterward, I reminded him what it was. Oh, how you doing? Okay. But what happens, white guy, and he just saw a black guy sitting down, and he had in his mind that I didn't belong there, that he wanted those seats free for, his group of people from England that he wanted to impress, who had some relationship with, it seemed, Rob Stringer, who was Sir Howard Stringer's son, who now runs Sony, okay? And I'm talking about Rob Stringer, not Sir Howard. Sir Howard's, long gone, but in terms of running it. But my point is, look, the seats were open, and just like anybody else, I sat down. If you wanted it reserved, you should have covered it. No one had anything covered it up. And not that there was anybody next to me who said, oh, that seat's occupied. Or that seat, or I'm saving that seat, right? This guy comes over to me. Okay? And so there's a lot, and I point that out. It's a little thing, but I point it out because in Las Vegas, there's a lot of that kind of, hey, you're not important enough to be here sort of thing. And that's what Meek Mill is dealing with. He's like, hey, it's worse than that. It's not like you're not important enough. It's you're a bad person and we don't want you in here. There's a lot of attempts to exclude people who are black in many different ways. And you have to vigilantly stand your ground against that. It's a sad statement on society. Very sad that it happens today. Very sad. But the way society is changing in terms of diversity, the way that people are now aware of the laws they should have been aware of a long time ago and are willing to use them. And the simple fact of the matter is, hey, look, I say this again, the police are your friend. Someone gives you a problem, you call the cops, and by complaining to the cops, you have the cops do their job. The cops are your friend in this instance. Let the cops help you. So don't go to Las Vegas, with a chip on your shoulder, looking for trouble, and thinking you're going to solve it yourself. You have a problem, the first thing you do is you call the police. Someone else says, I don't care if somebody else says they're going to call the police, you jump them, you make the call first. You say, hey, you know what? I got a problem here. Okay? And I hate to say that because you would hate to think that law enforcement has to be called in for, an issue that can be solved with adults, right? Adult conversation and adult treatment and respect. But what happens is, all too often in today's society, you get one person that wants to, and I'd say really illegally, use law enforcement for little issues. And it happens too much. Way too much. The police have better things to do. And God bless those police officers, particularly in Oakland, who, they see an X, they say, is this settled all right? They know they got better things to do, so they don't spend a lot of time on it. Because they know there are real crimes being committed. But there is a crime being committed when you're disrespected and your very right, your very constitutional rights are being violated. That's a crime. And again, Vegas has got to get this right, because you don't want more visitors going out and not coming back than visitors coming in and staying. If this isn't resolved, you're going to have a lot of that. You're going to have more and more black folks using social media to report even the slightest incident. And that could, if it happens and that builds up, you think that's going to make Las Vegas this attractive place to go? Of course not. Of course not. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter that the Raiders are there. And not only that, people will point to the PSL prices and the ticket prices and say, oh, the Raiders are not for us, because if we go there, not only can we not afford the tickets, we're going to be beaten up and assume that we're bad. Okay? So this is an issue that should be firmly on the radar of the Oakland Raiders as they move into Las Vegas. It should be something that should be of paramount concern to Mark Davis and the Raiders, and Mark Bourdain is the president. Yes, this topic very much has everything to do with the Raiders, because this could, hey, look, suppose this isn't, the Cosmopolitan. Suppose it's Las Vegas Stadium. Okay, suppose it's a concert there. Someone says, you got 65,000 people, you can't let me in, I got a ticket. All right? So this is serious business. I mean, no question about it. It's just a serious issue. Okay? So that's what's going on, Cowboy Wrestler. That's the story, okay? And I wasn't going to spend a lot of time on this, but I couldn't help it. Frederick Williams says, that's another thing. The new Raiders Stadium has definitely spent a boatload of money on maximum security. Well, yeah, I mean, you have to, because of, we're talking about, look, a $2 billion facility that gets a lot of attention. It's already getting a lot of attention. So they've got to have a great system set up. They're better, okay? But this discussion is not that discussion, okay? I mean, don't mistake a concern. If someone says, hey, look, We want to keep these black rappers out of concern for security. In respect to Las Vegas Stadium, your response in turn should be, wait a minute, are you saying these guys are terrorists or something? Okay. Because the kind of security that I'm thinking about is the kind of security that, for example, has been installed at Salesforce Transit Center, where you have these gigantic barriers that pop out of the ground. Okay. And they can stop a small tank from getting in. They just go bzzz. They have their hydraulic system. I made a video about it. All right. That is different from this. Okay. This is not that. This is not that. So that's what's happening. Let me see if there's been any update on that Las Vegas issue. Las Vegas. Let's see here. The latest. Let's see here. Oh, they're still talking about the old Las Vegas shooting here. Let me see. Let me just type Las Vegas. Las Vegas Stadium. Okay, that's not what I'm looking for. Let's see here. What else? Let's see here. Las Vegas. Let's see. Let's just see. Las Vegas Mall. Las Vegas Mall. Wait a minute. Lawsuit. Okay. Las Vegas Mall. All right. Police evacuating Fashion Show Mall in Las Vegas Strip. Shooter not fireworks. Gang shooting in Fashion Show Mall, Las Vegas. People stampeded out. An hour later, we were all evacuated. Wow. Police cars surrounding Fashion Show Mall. It's on Instagram. And I'm opening up what looks like it's going to be a video. This is a long way from that. Let's see here. I can't tell. I'm not even going to bother showing this because I can't tell anything from it. It was a long distance shot, and I'm supposed to pick out police cars from a shot that looks like it's something like 1.5 miles away. It's ridiculous. Completely ridiculous. So, let's see here. I am trying to, let's see here. 5-1, okay. All right. I am trying to open my hold on a second, folks. All right. Okay. Got now. Trying to get this Las Vegas Mall deal here. All right, now Instagram. There it is. Okay, I can't do anything with that one. Fashion Show Mall tells me nothing. Let me try Las Vegas Mall. There. Top posts, I don't see anything about the latest incident on Instagram. Just a bunch of interesting little photographs. There. Okay, so nothing there. Let me go back to Twitter. Go up here and go to photos. Here. Take a look at this. There. Okay. That one. All right, this says police respond to fight gunfire at Fashion Show Mall on Las Vegas Strip. Okay. And note something, folks. They don't have the bollards there. They're supposed to install the bollards too. The bollards are these kind of upright barriers that keep people from driving on the sidewalk. All right. Police respond to fight gunfire at Fashion Show Mall Strip. Okay. Let's see here. It's 3 hours ago, 3 hours ago, 4 hours ago. And that's pretty much it regarding videos. Don't quite see anything else. Okay, that's all I see there. If I click videos, see traffic is moving in front of Fashion Show Mall. That's where it occurred. That's animal control. That's a different date. All right. So anyway, there. All right. Not much. You know, for as many people as you would think are running away and all that, you would think somebody posted a video. Not there. Maybe YouTube. Let's see if there's one. Las Vegas Mall shooting YouTube 2019. Videos. And I got nothing. Shooting at Bellagio, March 19th, 2000. There was a shooting at the Bellagio. This is not cool. Listen to this, folks. We just had this shooting at the Fashion Mall, Fashion Island, right? That was Memorial Day, okay? Then March 19th, shooting at the Bellagio in Las Vegas, okay? An officer involved shooting. Then, March 5th, no, that's the Vegas shooting, excuse me. There was another officer involved shooting January 27th. And that was the third at the time for 2019. So there's, I haven't checked the stats, but regarding crime in Vegas, but let me see if, just type something, crime rate in Las Vegas. Listen to this, okay? The overall crime rate in Las Vegas is 30% higher than the national average. For every 100,000 people, there are 9.76 daily crimes that occur in Las Vegas. Las Vegas is safer than just 14% of the cities in the United States, okay? The question is how much of that has changed as a time series. Time series. No, time series is where you put the crime rate in line over a period of years and you compare it, right? So, Neighborhood Scout, they have a heat map. UNLV has a something here. But this seems to be old. So I'll put that back. And crime in 2018. Las Vegas, you can't really, that whole, I'm going to have to dig into this one more because there isn't a definitive source that pops up and says, okay, it's this, maybe the census, but I need to just dig into that for future reference. And I'll go back to, because I don't want to miss your comments too much. But anyway, that's, I don't want to miss your comments at all, okay? But that's the latest regarding Meek Mill. Let's see if there's anything else. Las Vegas, Meek. Meek Mill. See if there's anything other news that I missed about Mill. Meek Mill deny interest. That was 8 hours ago. The latest is 57 seconds ago. Meek Mill allegedly denied entrance into a hotel in Vegas because of prior fight of security. See, even though the Cosmopolitan has said nothing to confirm a fight, you have other media reporting that as recently as 7 seconds ago. Okay. In Apple News, Meek Mill says he was turned away from, quote, racist as hell Las Vegas hotel. That's Billboard. And the term racist as hell is spread like wildfire. Okay? And then there's one by Katrina Bateman. Meek Mill racially profiled and kicked out of casino. So, and listen to this. Listen to this, okay? Something else. I don't agree with this statement, but it's written. All right here. The Cosmopolitan Las Vegas. Hey, look at there, okay? The Cosmopolitan Las Vegas has shown their true colors again. I've been calling this place home of the white privileged douchebags. Don't get mad. Get even with the Meek Mill. I was promoter for Marquee and I quit because of stuff very similar to this. Ooh, no. He says he was a promoter for Marquee and he quit because of stuff very similar to this. Okay? Wow. That's heavy, folks. See? So, you know what? The hotter the spotlight, the hotter the spotlight, the brighter the spotlight, the hotter the spotlight, I should say. And this is bad. This is bad. And the Cosmopolitan has not done anything. Here's another one by Vegas Element. Look at this. Mayor of Las Vegas, Meek Mill, and Mayor Goodman, please address hotel and nightclub racism, exclusion, and discrimination. What happened to Meek has also happened to me. As a Las Vegas resident, we all deserve to be treated with dignity, fairness, respect. I'd be happy to speak with you. Okay? Meek Mill writes, if you come from our culture, you should never step foot in the Cosmopolitan Hotel. They're just really racist as hell. Something really has to be done in Las Vegas, what they're doing to black people. This is it's a problem, okay? This is a real problem. This is a real problem. And this is wrong. This is where I'm going to show you something. This is wrong. Okay? Businesses have the right to turn people away as they see fit. Everyone thinks it's not about race. This is about getting old, grow up, okay? First of all, businesses do not have the right to turn people away as they see fit. No, because if you're turning away somebody for reasons of race, or even of headdress, which refers to race, that's against federal civil rights laws. Okay? That's against federal civil rights laws. I will, for those of you who need a refresher on this sort of thing, I'm typing civil rights laws, and then with respect to public accommodations. This Title 2 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination. Let me read this to you, okay? Title 2 of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibits discrimination because of race, color, religion, or national origin in certain places of public accommodation, such as hotels, restaurants, and places of entertainment. All right? So that entirely covers what we're talking about. No exceptions. Okay? It's called Title 2 of the Civil Rights Act. So if Las Vegas hotels are found to be in consistent violation of Title 2 of the Civil Rights Act, they can wind up paying out hundreds of millions of dollars in settlements. You heard these complaints. You heard me recite them on Twitter. There's an iceberg, and that's just the tip of it. Something has happened to everybody. Myself, And it's all this exclusion. You're trying to exclude people, okay? Okay? So in the case of Meek Mill, he didn't start anything. And again, you may not like how someone wears their hair, dress. You may feel that certain people, like I made a comment last night, I said, hey, you know what? I walked into the Dre nightclub, where in the Cromwell, and I wasn't exactly down with with the clientele, okay? But that's me. No, the clientele didn't do anything wrong. It just wasn't my cup of tea. But that's okay. My not preferring the environment that club presents doesn't mean I would say in the next breath, hey, you have to exclude them. No, that's wrong. That is 1 billion% wrong. Okay? It goes with the old saying, I may not agree with what you say or how you wear your hair, but I will defend to my death your right to say it or to wear your hair the way you want to. That's American. That's what we're supposed to do. And somewhere along the way, we're forgetting of that, okay? We have to be reminded. Hey, you know what? I'm not a punk rock guy. That doesn't mean that punk rockers should be allowed to assemble. Okay? And I think about that, and I think of, how punk rockers used to destroy bathrooms and that sort of thing, but you didn't hear anybody then having this blanket idea that everybody that was a punk rocker was bad. It was a certain person that did a certain thing for which there was evidence, video evidence, and witnesses, and it was known, it was written up, right, in the papers and everything else, and in the news right now. We don't call them the papers anymore. And you could say, okay, it was that person. But how this has been handled by the Cosmopolitan, no. The Las Vegas Convention and Visitors Authority, the Raiders, the Las Vegas Stadium Authority, all should be very concerned about this. Extremely concerned. Title II of the Civil Rights Act prohibits discrimination because of race, color, religion, or national origin in certain places of public accommodation, such as hotels, restaurants, and places of entertainment. The Department of Justice can bring a lawsuit under Title II when there is reason to believe that a person has engaged in a pattern or practice of discrimination in violation of Title II. The department can also obtain injunctive but not monetary relief in such cases. Individuals can also file suit to enforce their rights under Title II, and other federal and state statutes may also provide remedies for discrimination in places of public accommodation. Now, you would say, Zinni, you said they could collect millions in a class action lawsuit. I wasn't speaking for the Department of Justice and what it could do. I'm talking about somebody who was personally damaged, who could file a civil lawsuit on top of the criminal lawsuit. And that's really the way to go. The Justice Department files a criminal lawsuit, and the person that was victimized comes back and files a civil lawsuit. The civil lawsuit is fed by the criminal lawsuit by the Justice Department, and off we go. That is the situation the Cosmopolitan Hotel is staring at, okay? And our case says, let's not forget what happened to Michael Bennett. Exactly, And I don't, look, to my thought, all right, Michael Bennett should have handled this by, I call it the very simple act of doing what law enforcement tells you to do. If they tell you to stay down, stay down. Don't get up and run away. Just stay down. If you see a police officer in sight, do as the police officer says, because as long as you follow the police officer's procedure, you're good to go. I mean, and the very simple thing to say is, sir, how do you want me to walk? Where do you want me to go? That way, if you happen to turn left and the person has you, the cop has you, and you're just going where you think they want you to go and they want you to go the other way, an asshole cop could use that against you and just come up with some reason to say, oh, you violated my rule, when in point of fact you're making an innocent mistake. Just do what the person says. All right? Because you have some people get hired who, I'm telling you, there's some people who are beyond the badge, who are awesome police officers, and unfortunately there's some who are not, because some police force, like for example the city of Oakland, will go out and they'll just scan the net for anybody. Hey, we're dial this number. I remember driving on the freeway in Oakland one day and I saw this huge number, we're hiring, by the Oakland police. I thought, you're just going to get anybody off the street? Don't you care about their psychological makeup? Okay? So in those instances, protect yourself, do as the law enforcement says, but make sure you're the person that calls them first. Okay? Make the police work for you. I don't care how you feel about police and black folks. Make the police work for you. That is, you know why? That becomes your defense. Hey, I called them. They were supposed to do this. This is what I told them. I called them first. Because that's on record that you call them first. Be smart. Don't be stupid. Don't be stupid. Okay? I'm just saying. Me, I'm not a person who goes to concerts like that. I am a snob. I am admittedly a big fat snob. Okay? For reasons like the one we're talking about. Okay? So, there you go. All right? There you go. So anyway, it's 2:29 in the morning. I'm going to sign off. Not a lot of you because of the holiday, I get that. But remember, Mark, if you're in Oakland or the Bay Area, I'm going to be hosting a live show. I haven't figured out the venue yet. June 6th at 7:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, because it's going to be in Oakland.